Well, welcome back. This training video is all about how to take the assessments and some of the areas that might get you tripped up or might cause you some problems or just some confusion. We want to make sure that you have this information before you start taking the assessments so that you might be able to have the best chance of success in completing them. Remember, most packages that are purchased have at least 8 assessments plus the create the assessment summary form. Those of you that included your design discovery meeting, you will have 11 assessment that are included in your package plus the create the assessment summary form. So if you're ready to get started, let me go ahead and share my screen. As always, we're going to start at the start page, and this is your personal home page. There is a way of getting into the assessments down here under quick links. You can hit the assessments DDM information and then log into the YMI assessments. We're going to actually come up to the top menu here and use the option that says log into assessments. At this point, you might have done this once or twice, but we'll go ahead and review it. You're going to get the information from your email, which was the information to be able to do the assessments and to log in is in your user access ID email. If you remember, it looks like this. And what we will do is we're going to look for the specific information. Your subject is going to look like that. It's going to have your YMI assessments access ID number as part of that. And then a little bit further on down, it's going to have your information about your password that you created at the time that you created your assessment license. All right. So we have that information. And we'll go back to the Start Here page. So we'll type in that 4-digit number. At this point, I saved mine and I saved the password. And now all I have to do is type in my email address. Go ahead and tab. Now that error message is coming up, but that's because I have not selected the registered user, which is me. At this point, confirm that it's you and continue. Now, when you are doing the assessments, this particular program is really the hub of doing all your assessments. It's the Choose Your Assessments program. And from here, you could do a number of things. You can print out your assessment summary form to see exactly where you are and to get a copy of the results. And that's that there. It also shows you your expiration date for doing the assessments. You do have 90 days from purchase. And then there's some basic training information that we're actually doing right now. Then the next section is where do you want to go? And then if there have been any assessments that have been done, then they would appear below. We'll go ahead and start off with, typically you'll do them in the order that they appear, but I'm going to jump ahead and do the fivefold ministry assessment. Hit continue. It's really important for you to read the instructions. It'll tell you a couple technical things, but it'll also give you some perspectives as well as taking these assessments. So let's go ahead and look at this. The very first one is indicating that you really just need to be brutally honest with yourself. This is not what your boss wants you to be like or your parents and so forth. This is what really brings you joy when you are answering these questions. This is what when I do it, I feel the most complete version of myself. Again, number 2, there are no wrong answers, just dishonest ones. Dishonest ones would be where you're trying to fool yourself or fool other people. No, just be yourself and answer the questions as honestly as you possibly can. There are going to be situations where you could say yes to maybe 2 or 3 of the answers. And this is particularly true about motivator, impact style, the fivefold ministry one that we're doing here, temperaments. When you're looking at this, you want to go, all right, yes, all these things are true, but when I do this, I am the most satisfied, I am the most content, and so forth. So also going to tell you about the different types of assessments. The basic assessments are the ones such as this fivefold one or your motivated role, impact style, and temperaments. The advanced ones are your interests, abilities, and values. To some extent, the spiritual gifts could be a little bit of both. The basic assessments typically would take 15 to 20 minutes to do those. The advanced ones can take as much as 45 minutes. And so there's some special unique challenges in doing the advanced assessments, and we will cover that when we do an advanced assessment. All right, we'll go ahead and clear out what we have here. And if you have any questions, reach out to us on the online chat room or to your admin that you're working with. Everybody needs to confirm that they have enough time to do this. Go down to the bottom, you'll see the next button. There are another series of instructions here, so let's go ahead and review those real quick. The very first instruction is telling you that there's 10 questions that are going to be coming up, and what you're really looking for is the one answer that describes you the clearest. Now, again, some of them might be overlapped where you could say yes to more than one, but what one does it really give you joy? It then talks about the save button that is included at the bottom of every screen. Now, that's important for you to understand. Less so in the basic assessments because you typically can get those done within 20 minutes. But when you're doing an advanced assessment, you might want to save where you're at and come back to it later on. Maybe you get interrupted by your kids. Maybe you just run out of time, and that's all good. So that button is down below, and it's usually over here on the right-hand side. Understand it does not finalize your assessments. All it does is create a email that will be sent to you once you confirm that you want it sent, that will give you a link to return where you left off. If you have to do it multiple times for the same assessment, you can only use the most recent email link to resume that assessment. Also, it's telling you about the navigation bar here, so let's go ahead and look at that real quick. Navigation bar at the top. It's also an indication of how many series of questions there are going to be. This particular one has 10. And then there could be a series of either error messages or the finalized page at the very end. And we'll draw that to your attention when we do the advanced one because it's more pertinent there. You do need to do these in sequence, so let's go ahead and do that. In a working environment, I am most effective at, and then you have your 5 different options here. I'll just go ahead and choose this first one and move on. I'll go ahead and complete this, and at the very end, we will talk about finalizing the assessments, but you'll just do the same thing that we just did for question 1 for the next 9 questions. All right, so we're down to the last question. I am most effective in equipping others to motivate and lead others to fulfill their mission in life and all the other questions. I'll just go ahead and choose this top one here and then say next. Couple things. We will notice that this A bar is highlighted now, and that is basically saying that we're at the end of the assessment. It's going to give you your assessment results. The fivefold is a little bit unique in that we are not talking about the office of fivefold ministry. We are talking about the giftings of the fivefold. And this is the gifts that Jesus has given to all of his followers. And so we will follow down here and just explaining all of that. And then it goes into the details of the specific callings for an individual. In my particular case, it came up with 8% apostolic and 20% prophetic, and it gives you some additional information here. At the very end of all this, there is this deeper look at your fivefold, which is going to tell you more about that specific area of each one of those. And we will move on. Now, this next part is really important. This finalize button is what we want you to focus in on. So we will hit the finalize button. At this point, the results that I just had will be emailed to me. And so that will be in my inbox within minutes now. And it's now going to register the assessment results. It's going to prompt you to look for the hard copy of the assessment results in your email. And then right here, it's going to ask you, where do you want to go? At this point, if I hit exit, I'll go back to my start homepage, but I want to do another assessment. So I will just go ahead and choose that and register and continue. Because I chose that, it took me back to the choose your assessments page. And that's going to allow me to do my next assessment. You'll notice also that another box has popped up, and this is telling me what assessment results have been completed and when they were completed. For it to appear here, you have had to have completed that registered results and hit that last button that we did before getting here and finished and finalized that assessment. And if I want to go on to the next one, typically you do these in order: motivated role, continue, and we will go ahead and do that and do the next assessment. This is also considered a basic assessment, so the motivated role is going to take you about 20 minutes. And it's the exact same format as the fivefold one that we just did. All right, I'm going to go back to our choose my assessments page, and I'm going to actually choose one of the advanced assessments because they are more challenging. So let's go into that, and I'll pick out the interest assessment. By the way, if you choose an assessment and it tells you that you haven't purchased it, that means it's not part of the package that you have chosen. And interest is part of mine. We will say yes here and continue. As before, the instructions are going to tell you that you have 20 questions in this particular case. You can see that in the navigation bar, as well as that finalized page here. We'll go ahead and start answering. Now, each one of these has a different sort of format, and we're going to go ahead and answer these questions accordingly. So we'll go ahead and read the construct definition for mechanical repair: designing, constructing, or repairing man-made objects, machines, and devices. This may include small, intricate objects such as the parts of a stereo system, or large-scale objects such as a skyscraper or dam. And it's just asking you if you find any of these aspects of life enjoyable. One of the options says, I have little interest in this, and the other option says, I am interested in this. Well, in this particular case, I'm not especially interested in mechanical repair. Software design, that's a yes, but mechanical repair, not so much. And we'll hit next. And now we're up to operating machinery, and I will answer these questions accordingly. So now if I hit next, before answering all the questions, I'm going to get that error message there. So I do want to make sure that I answer all the questions before I can advance to the next one. And we will continue on. I'm going to do this for the next 20 questions, and then I will pick you up at the end of doing all those so you don't have to watch me answer all 200 options here. So I finished the 20th set of questions here. Interests have 20 questions. The abilities assessment has 32, and values have 25. In this particular case, the last one here is research, and I answered the questions, and I'll hit next. Now you're going to see that I got an error message that popped up, and that's telling me that I have too many fourth place choices. Now, there's a couple things that we can do here to get this down to a manageable number of interest. And the reason we need this is that when we have a person that has 20 possible interests, it's very difficult for us to narrow down their purpose because everything's going in multiple directions. So we want you to have your interests, abilities, and values limited to five, no more than six options for us to deal with during your design discovery meeting. So now that we have this error message, there's a couple things that we can do. Very first thing we're going to do is come down and read the five, in this particular case, fourth place assessment results that we need to deal with. And what I want you to do is read the construct definitions over here on the right-hand side and be able to really ask yourself, what one of these gives you the greatest amount of joy? Now, understand, of the 20, these have risen to the top in your analysis of yourself through the assessments. So we're not saying that they're not important, but not every one of these has the same weight. Perhaps you have greater joy when you are writing something than when you are trying to persuade somebody of something. So what I want you to do is read through all of these and try to find the ones that give you the greatest amount of joy. And down below, we'll see how many that we have to deal with. We have to either decrease three of them or increase two. So we'll look at the top two just to make this easy on ourselves. We're going to look at the top two of these and decide which ones give us the greatest amount of joy. So as I'm reading this, I'm going to say that writing gives me great joy and persuading others to do good things gives me great joy. So those are the two I want to increase. Now I can increase them one of two ways. The page number 6, if I was to go up here to the top and click on 6, it would take me directly there. As you can see, it does. And at this point, I could decrease one of my choices and approach the issue that way. Let's go back to the error message page. But I'm going to use a more sophisticated approach. I'm going to look at the writing and persuasion options, and I'm going to take the second set of instructions down below here, which talks about promoting or demoting your choices. So let's go ahead and read this instruction here. And it's telling us we want to note which ones those are, and we did. And I'm going to promote those two because those two of the five are the ones that are the most important to me. In this case, it's saying it might be easier for some of you to demote some things as opposed to promote. But either way, you'll be able to come up with a list of ones that are really the ones that give you the greatest amount of joy. Writing is page 6, so I'm going to go up to the navigation bar here and click on number 6, and I'm going to promote number 6. Now that we've promoted that option, it actually gave us a message saying that's all we need to do. It's also confirmed up here under the navigation bar as being done. So we'll go ahead and clear off these markings and hit the done option. Now, the error message was on our fourth set of interests. So the first, second, and third were already taken. And so therefore, those were not up for choice. And the fourth one that we did choose, which was writing, was selected here. At the very end, if I'm not happy with that, I can reset all the promotions and demotions and start again where that error message is. And let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let's say that I changed my mind. It was really all about the persuasion one, not the writing one. So I'm going to go to page 10 now, and I'm going to promote that one. Again, it says that everything is good. You got that message there, as well as we have that message here telling us that it's complete. We'll go to done and continue. Now we see our very last one is persuasion and not writing. Now that we're happy with these assessment results, we'll hit the finalize button and allow it to do that. And we're going to do one more assessment just to choose the save option. So we'll say do another assessment, then click register your results. And we'll now see that our options now that have completed and registered assessments show that the interest assessments are now there. We're going to go down to the values assessment now. Hit continue. And instructions are the same. It's going to tell you that there are 25 sets of questions. And I will go ahead and answer these. And let's say that I got to question 7 and all of a sudden I had to stop. This is where the save button comes into play. We hit the save button. We want to wait for the pop-up and it's going to confirm where you're going to email that link and we'll hit send. We'll check our email. So in my email, we're going to see a couple of things here. First of all, we're going to see the assessment results that were emailed to us for the fivefold and so forth. But we're also going to see the restart link for that values assessment. So if I hit resume now, it's going to take me directly into the system. It's going to take me to question 6, which is where I ended up. And it's going to allow me to continue doing the assessment. So let's go ahead and continue on here. And we'll go ahead and hit next. And it's telling me I had too many first place choices here. I'll go ahead and it's telling me down below I have excess of 5. So I'm going to get rid of 20, 22, and 24. So let's go here. And I'm going to demote that. I'm going to go to 22. I'm going to demote that. I'm going to go to 24 and demote that. See how I'm doing? I still have too many. So let me go ahead and get rid of 5 and 25. So I'll come here to 5, demote that, and I'll go to 25 and demote that. And now you can see we've got our congratulations. The done button is now available. So we'll go ahead and jump to the done. That tells us our top values. Again, I could reset all those promotions and demotions and rejuggle them. This, by the way, does not erase your questions to the answers. It simply resets the promotion and demotion button choices that you made. And finalize assessment. And it all worked great. So that's how the save button works for those of you that get stopped in the middle of it. And that's really common with interests, abilities, and values. We're going to go back to the assessment screen. We're going to see all of the assessments that were completed. So right now we've got 3 of them done, and we can continue the rest. There is one other thing I want to bring to your attention. At the very bottom here, there is an option to create the assessment summary form. This is a PDF that is created for you so that you can actually see hard copy wise exactly what was completed and how your assessments are coming up right now. So at this point, it already filled in your ID number. You could have a second ID if you purchase your DDM as a separate process, but we aren't in that situation. It shows me my interest assessment I completed, the values assessment that I completed, and when I hit complete step 1, it will then show me that I have also completed the 5-fold. It gives me a summary of what I have completed here. And let's go ahead and generate the form. So when I go to my email now, I will see that it has sent me this option here. I'll go ahead and click on the PDF that it generated, and you'll see the assessment summary form. So there's their 5-fold assessments. Motivated, role, impact, style, and temperaments have not been done. We'll see interest and values, which have been done. This section through here is reserved for the construct parsing, and those will only be filled out for those that have purchased the DDM, and that is the last 3 assessments that are necessary to be done before your design discovery meeting. All right. So what did we do? We logged into the assessments. We did a basic assessment, the 5-fold one. We did a interest assessment. We did a values assessment. We did a restart using the save button and the email link that it sent us through the save button. And we also printed out our assessment summary form. That is pretty much all the areas that you'll run into as far as doing the assessments. If you have any questions, reach out to your admin and they'll be happy to help you. All right. Blessings. Thank you.